Don't tell me what to do. You're not even my dad, my stepdaughter said in front of my friends. When I confronted her, my wife said, if you want to control someone, have your own child. I just smiled. The next morning, everything changed, and I watched them both panic. I'd raised this girl for 13 years. Every month, money went into her college fund. By the time she turned 17, there was $85,000 sitting there, every penny from my plumbing business. But around age 13, my little girl who used to sprint to the door yelling, Dad's home, became a stranger who couldn't acknowledge my existence unless she needed money. The transition was brutal. She stopped calling me Dad entirely, switching to my first name like I was some acquaintance. When I asked why, she shrugged and said whatever, like it didn't matter. My wife Valerie insisted it was just a phase. But this wasn't normal teenage rebellion. This was targeted disrespect. The demands escalated alongside the disrespect. The $60 shoes became insulting. She needed the $180 ones. Everything had to be designer, expensive, exactly what her friends had. Ashley's stepdad bought her the new MacBook, she'd say, weaponizing that word, stepdad. For her 16th birthday, I bought her a reliable Honda Civic. Princess wanted a BMW. When I didn't comply, I got 2 weeks of silent treatment and comments about how her real dad would have understood. Her real dad hadn't called in 6 months. The breaking point came during a dinner party. Friends from work, casual Saturday night. Someone mentioned college costs, and I said I had money saved for Ellie's education, assuming she didn't want somewhere ridiculous like NYU. She made her entrance, phone in hand. Actually, I've been accepted to NYU, and I'm going. Mom and I already talked about it. NYU costs $60,000 a year. The fund had $85,000 total. We'll need to discuss the finances for that, I said calmly. The fund covers state school. She looked at me like I just ruined her life. You're seriously going to ruin my future over money? What followed was a public meltdown in front of my guests. She ranted about how I never treated her like she belonged, how I acted like every dollar was some huge favor, how I should be grateful she wasn't letting us live in poverty, grateful for the privilege of funding someone who treated me like garbage. When I told her to go to her room, that's when she dropped the bomb. Don't tell me what to do. You're not even my father. You're just some guy my mom married who thinks money makes him important. The silence that followed was deafening. 13 years of being her dad, and that's what I was. Some guy her mom married. I looked at Valerie, waiting for her to say something, anything. Instead, she put her arm around Ellie and said, she's upset about college stress. Maybe we should call it a night. No apology, no correction, just an excuse and a suggestion that my guests leave so her daughter wouldn't face consequences for publicly humiliating me in my own home. After everyone left, I tried to explain what had just happened. Valerie's response? Maybe if you actually treated her like your daughter instead of some charity case, she'd act like it. That's when the mask finally came off. Well, if you wanted to control someone, maybe you should have your own child, she said. The words hung in the air like poison gas. They'd made their choice, and I'd made mine. Monday morning, I did 3 things. Moved all my business income to a separate account, called my lawyer, and liquidated Ellie's college fund. All $85,000 of it, gone, transferred back to my business account where it came from. The first sign something was wrong came when her car insurance got canceled. What happened to my insurance? She demanded. I stopped paying for it. The real meltdown came when she checked the college fund balance online. She burst into the garage screaming, what did you do? I liquidated the account. That's my money. Actually, it was my money. Every deposit came from my business. The account was in my name. Always was mine. When Valerie joined the chaos screaming about destroying Ellie's future, I handed her the divorce papers I'd been carrying. You're divorcing me over this? You made it clear you'll always defend your daughter even when she's wrong. She made it clear I'm not her father. If I'm just some guy you married, I can become some guy you used to be married to. They had 30 days to find somewhere else to live. 5 years later, I was remarried to Sandra, father to 3-year-old Jake, business thriving. Then my doorbell rang. Valerie and Ellie stood there, looking like life had chewed them up, evicted, jobless, needing help with college tuition. Because you raised her, Valerie said desperately. Because you loved her once. I loved a kid who called me dad and appreciated what I did for her. That kid doesn't exist anymore. That's when Jake came running into the room, fresh from his bath, launching himself at me yelling, Daddy! With pure, uncomplicated love. That's your son? Valerie asked. Yes, he is. Sandra appeared, putting her hand protectively on Jake's back. They were just leaving.